Hello and welcome back. In this first training, we are going to cover connecting your calendar. As in my opinion, connecting your calendar is the most important. That's why it's the first step, because this tool is designed to display your real-time actual availability to your clients. So having your calendar connected and having your schedule accurate is critically important. So that's why this is number one after the overview. So I want to go on into that. As you may have noticed, I sometimes have a habit of rambling. I'm a little ADD, so I'm kind of jumping all over the place. I'm going to focus exclusively on connecting your calendar first, so that those of you that maybe you're tech savvy or you know how to do it and that's all you want to do is just connect it. You don't care about suggestions on how to manage your calendar and this and that, which I'll touch on a little bit, but incorporate it into what we're doing here. So you can just go get it connected and do your own thing. But I'm going to spend a little bit of time at the end here going through what I do and how to look at it, how to manage it, how I've utilized it and implemented my Notary calendar. So let's jump right into actually connecting your calendar. And as I said before, this is not somewhere you can't enter appointments here on the calendar, right? You can't click on it and add something manually. What you're gonna do is go to the menu and click on calendar. And this is really actually simple. Even if you're not that tech savvy, I've had several people that have said I'm not that tech savvy and I got it done in like 5 or 10 minutes. It's just a matter of following the instructions that are here. So you can see I'm a little crazy. I've got a ton of calendars, but most people have at least 2 or 3, because you've got, your work calendar, your personal calendar, maybe you have other stuff going, who knows? But as a reminder, this has got to be a Google product. It's got to be either Gmail or Workspace, because Google and Apple and Microsoft all have different technologies that they built their stuff on. So it has to be built to one of them. So there may be at some point, I've talked to my developer about it, is there some way we can create one that interconnects with all of them? It's a lot of work, so it's one of those things. That's why most people don't do it. You use one or the other. There are some out there that use multiples. Excuse me. But we may get there someday. So all you have to do to connect your calendars, really you only have to follow step number 1 if you just want it to read the calendar and display to your clients your accurate availability. If you also want Notary Calendar to populate and add the appointments to your Google Calendar, then do step number 2. This one is optional depending on what you already have. I use Notary Assist. Notary Assist automatically populates my appointments onto my calendar. So I don't necessarily need to do step number 2. I do have it done for obvious reasons. So when I get an order through my Notary Calendar, through my widget, when I hit accept, it automatically puts it onto my Google Calendar. And then I take that email, I hit forward, import to Notary Assist, and that automatically imports it into my Notary Assist for accounting purposes. And that will also populate it. So I get duplication. So if you don't like duplication, then don't do step number 2 if you already have something like a Notary Assist. So hopefully that makes sense. The duplication doesn't bother me at all. Redundancy is not a bad thing. But on step number 1, all you're going to do is you're going to go over to your Google Calendar. You have to connect all your calendars like this. And that's what I'm going to show after I'm done showing the basics here. So copy and paste this, right? You can right click or you can control C, whichever one you want. Come over to your calendar. On the left-hand side, you'll see your calendars here. The 3 little dots. You click that 3 little dots, go to settings and sharing, and then share with specific people. You can scroll down, same thing. Hit add people in groups, and then paste that email address. Make sure this is set to see all events. It should be by default. And then just hit send. What you'll see is that it shows up right here in your list of shared calendars. And it says see all events. What that allows Notary Calendar to do is to read. And you can see this is set up as a reader. So now your Notary Calendar account can read that Gmail account and see the addresses for your appointments so that the algorithm can go through and pull the drive times from location to location and then display your accurate time for your clientele. That's really as simple as it is. And you'll find out once you do that in your Google Calendar, come over here and hit update calendar permissions. If it's connected like this is, then you're good to go. That's it. Really simple. Really easy. Okay. Now let me go to the next step. Okay. If that's all you need to do, you can shut this video off. If you want to see how to connect your calendars, well, did I show this or not? If you have Apple, just go to YouTube. Hit iCal Google Calendar Sync. How do I connect my Google Calendar to my iCalendar? Or Outlook. You can see here's how to sync Apple Calendar with Google. It's a 3-minute video. If you use Outlook, you type in Outlook Google Calendar Sync, how to sync Outlook in Google. It's a 2-minute video. So you can see it's not super complicated. If it only takes a couple minutes to explain on a video, it's pretty easy. But what you'll do, and this is just a static shot of my calendar. Once you get it connected, here's what I would suggest you do. Put it side by side. I mean, if you have to shrink these down, you hit calendar there. Shrink these down so that you get a side-by-side view of them and look and see what is grayed out. Right? So you've got, this is my calendar next week. So there's the 10th, that's Sunday. Inside my work schedule, if we go to work schedule here, I don't work on Sundays. I don't have any time slots in there, so it blocks out the whole day. Saturday, I work basically 9 to 3. It blocks out after 3 o'clock. Nobody can book me on Saturday. The 11th, you can see right here on the snapshot of my calendar, which I got a little smarter. You saw I had to gray out some of the other stuff because using my actual calendar, last time I did this, I used my actual calendar, was scrolling around, moving all over, and it took me an hour or two to gray out all the private information on there in the whole video. So this time I'm like, how do I avoid that? I don't want an hour or two's worth of work to edit this stuff because it's like, So I just got a snapshot and I blocked out all the non-public information on the snapshot of it. So this is the snapshot of next week. But what you want to do is get on your calendar, see your calendar here, and make sure that everything is accurate. So there's Monday the 11th right here. I've got that green is my morning routine essentially. The day starts at 8. Monday morning from 8 to noon, I block off for marketing. That's what I do Monday morning. I spend 4 hours. That's all I focus on. Now, sometimes a job will pop up, and if it pays well enough, will I take it and then move some of this time to somewhere else in the day? Yeah, you got to be flexible, right? Especially if it's a good paying job. But the little cheapos, yeah, which we're getting a lot of those now. Somebody's like, yeah, whatever. But then there's an appointment there at noon, and you see there's a little tiny time slot, and then I've got another appointment at 1, so there's 1 o'clock to 1:30. That little tiny sliver right there matches up with this. And the rest of that is open. Now, some of you say, what about those blue things? What are those blue things? You can see I have it all color-coded. This is one thing I learned after building Notary Calendar. There are some things that happen like on a weekly basis. For example, like on Tuesday, TNT, Tuesday Notary Titans, 12:15 with Jen Neitzel and Laura Buer, Coach Laura, right? Coach Laura does the thing Saturday morning. So what I figured out is I didn't want to put those in as events because then it blocks off my time. Even though I love going to those, if somebody offers me a job that has a good payday, I'm not going to turn that job down to go to a meeting that is optional that I don't have to attend. That's just for learning purposes, which is good. I get there whenever I can. But again, I'm not going to turn down work and skip that. I don't think anybody else would either. So I put these types of things in as tasks because then they don't block off my time. You can see I've got a couple on the 11th in the afternoon, a couple of little half-hour tasks, 15 minutes, whatever that is, but they don't block off my calendar. So if a job pops up there, I'm going to take it. If somebody hires me, I'm going to take it. These are optional things I don't need to do. So that's one little trick to managing your calendar. Before I started in the notary business, I had another business that had a static location. I got up, got ready, drove to that location, worked all day, came home. I didn't have to maintain a calendar. I'm not a good planner. Never have been. Probably never will be. But this business required me to get good at managing my calendar and making sure that all my events, things that I have to attend, my signings, anything else, they have to be in my calendar. And if you're using any booking tool, you've got to manage your calendar well. I don't care if it's this or another booking tool. It wouldn't make sense to use another booking tool, but whatever, right? But you can see then, if we go to the 12th, you can see I've got 3 back-to-back appointments in the morning, and then there's TNT at 12:15, which at this point, as long as, that other appointment there at, 11 o'clock, as long as that one finishes on time, I can make TNT. Then I have another appointment here at 1:30. The yellow, those are my notary appointments, right? These are signing appointments. Okay? And then I've got, like I said, the green is like my morning routine. Red's another thing. I help a friend out in New York with a little bit of stuff, just some video stuff. I do that for fun for the most part. So I have a little bit of hobby stuff going on. I got to have some fun, right? So once you get your calendar connected, do a side-by-side. Make sure all your events are in there and they're showing properly. Now, when it comes to connecting your calendars, let me touch on that now. I'm going to show you, as far as connecting iCal and Outlook, that's not something I've done, but if you have multiple Gmail calendars, you can go YouTube that as well. So how do I connect my Gmail calendars? It's also in Google, inside their help session. So you can just come in here and you can see there's the Notary Calendar link that reads my Notary Calendar. But then all you have to do is connect. You do the same thing. It's the same process. Add groups of people. And you can see I've got my Tony the Notary. I got my Notary calendar. These are all workspace accounts. So they're all Google products. But all you do is say, I want to share Tony at TonyTheNotary.com, make changes, manage sharing. That way, if I'm on that calendar and I add an event or an event gets added to that calendar, it automatically populates across all my calendars, not just the one. And let me show you. I got an email, and you can see right here, it says Tony at TonyTheNotary.com, right? So there's a few networking groups that I'm part of that I go. Happens to be one of the elder care. It's the care facilities, right? The retirement homes, the care facilities. There's a decent amount of business from those. People need power of attorneys. They need estate plans. They need all kinds of stuff done. So I go to some of these networking groups and usually leave cards. The people that manage those groups, they take your card and they input your email address into their database, and then they start emailing you. So I got this email to my TonyTheNotary.com email, and as you get an invite from a Google product, it automatically populates it on your calendar, and it tells you where it was created. This calendar, the snapshot of the calendar that I took, though, is from my main calendar. This one, once it pops up, right? So the only calendar I really open up in the morning when I fire up my machine is this one right here. This is what I started with 8 years ago, and it's just stuck. So that's the main email address I use for everything with signing services and everybody else. So I just leave it there. It's the one that's connected. But that's the only calendar I open up. But as you can see with this, that snapshot is from that calendar, but it came from this calendar. So once you do all this connection part and you get all your calendars connected to each other, then you're golden. It doesn't matter which one calendar you're on, they will show up. Clear as mud? It's not that complicated, and it really isn't even that time consuming. Once you do it once or twice, it becomes very simple, and it's a piece of cake. If you need problems, Google it, YouTube it. I mean, that's what I have to do usually. I'm not that tech savvy. I know a little bit. I know enough to be dangerous. That's about it. Once you get this done, yeah, there's not much left to do. So do that part, and then you should be good to go. And then you will see, just like I have all these ones. They're all connected. Then just hit update calendar permissions, and you should be good. Other little instruction right here if you need it. But so that's it for connecting your calendars. Hopefully that was clear as mud. If you do run into any issues, any challenges, go to my personal site. Click Instant Quote, go to consultation, and book an appointment with me. If you think it's going to be quick, do 15. If you think it might take longer, then book longer. Just hit search, and it'll show you my availability. You can book me, whatever you need, and I'll get you taken care of. That easy. We will see you in the next session.